testing my new dash cam. I installed it a couple weeks ago before I took a trip halfway across the country. So I'm testing the audio and the visuals because it might be a good tool for making video logs. I used to use my phone. I think I had a GoPro mount for a little while too, but the audio was never very good. So this dash cam, it's a Van Shrew N2 model. It does the front and the rear at 1080p, I believe 60 frames per second. That might only be if you turn off one of the cameras. You can also do 1440p with just the front facing camera if you turn off the rear one. So I have this recording both ways. Right now I'm headed over to, I guess, my brother-in-law's house, now that I'm married, to do have a game night. We do it every so often, a couple times a month. I have my Switch all packed up in my backpack along with my Xbox One controller and a couple PS4 controllers, because you never know how many people are gonna need to play. But I'm prepared. It's a backpack specifically for carrying game consoles and stuff. So I have my Switch, the dock, power cable, like 8 pairs of Joy-Cons. Yeah, I know it's a lot. 4 Pro controllers, and all the games which I have in a little Hori case. It's very useful. I had my phone mount here that was in front of the dash cam, and I was blocking some of the view facing this way, so I moved my phone mount over here. Hopefully it'll stick. Yeah, it's raining pretty hard. Make sure you don't hydroplane. Ace Combat 7 just came in for the PS4. I pre-ordered it on Amazon so I could get Ace Combat 5, because it seems they did a lot more work to it than people expected as far as remastering the visuals and such. I hear it's really good. I've never played an Ace Combat game, maybe a demo. I've never played through them. I've never really been to flight combat games. But based on what I've seen of the cutscenes and the music and stuff, I think it's a series I will enjoy. My motherboard just came in. It's a EVGA Z390 Dark. So that was the last part that I needed to build my computer. I haven't totaled the cost, but I think it's over $3,000. I have a GTX 2080 Ti, i9 9900K CPU, and stuff. I'll do a proper thing on it later. But I'm going to be able to do wireless VR because I got the HTC Vive wireless adapter. And I got, I don't know the exact name of it, but it's AverView capture card, internal, that allows me to record 4K, 60 frames per second HDR footage and play at that setting, so I don't have to compromise anything, and I don't have to not play in HDR or play in HDR but have the colors washed out in the recording. So I can finally do everything. Once I had this computer built, I haven't built a computer since 2011, and that was a tested video that I watched, the exact same parts that I could just go step by step. So I'm not sure how this is gonna go necessarily, especially since it's an unorthodox motherboard. I got it so because the Asus motherboards are not good at overclocking and remaining stable with the i9 CPUs, apparently, because they lied about the VRAM or whatever. I forgot what I don't know anything about computers. I feel like it raining will be the ultimate test of this thing's audio capabilities. and whether the rain is just drowning me out completely or if you can still hear me pretty clearly. I believe this dash cam is the model that a lot of Lyft and Uber drivers use. It has good night vision. I use it to drive halfway across the country, and it does a really good job. I got into a conversation about virtual reality with someone at the DMV. I was going there to turn in a license plate I found, and when I pulled up, and it was pretty crowded inside, it's a really small office, and I got in line, and one of the guys that was there before me asked me what that was on the front of my car, what frame I had. I said, oh, that's me wearing a virtual reality headset. And then I think he already knew that, because then he started asking me questions about it, and where I thought he mentioned the Omni treadmill. I think that's what it's called. And I told him how I've actually used it. I used it at a convention. I didn't really care for it. You got to stomp pretty hard for it to register your movements. It wasn't as accurate or sensitive as I would need that technology to be for me to buy it. And he asked me new developments. I told him about the FOV rendering and the eye tracking that's coming out, how it renders the part that you're looking at the highest resolution and everything else at lower resolutions, and stuff. And he was really interested in it, so interested that he did his business at the counter, took care of what he needed to at the DMV, and then he got back in line to continue talking to me. I started playing Fortnite for the first time recently, within the past week. I like it. I never got into it at the height of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I kind of just always stuck with that. I decided to try it out. Mainly, well, a few reasons. It's a huge game, so I think it's important to know about and to have some understanding of. And my nephews love it, so I did it as a way to play with them. And I like it. I didn't know anything about it going in really, except it's a battle royale, and you can build stuff. I watched a little bit of Giant Bomb play it, but I didn't know just how silly it got, and I really liked that part more than I expected to. I really like balloons and just attaching balloons to myself and floating around, like the shopping cart, so you can hop in and ride around, flying planes. I just unlocked my glider that plays music, which I feel like would give me away because there's a lot of lights and stuff too, so I don't know if it puts me at a disadvantage having that, or if it really matters. One thing I'm curious about is I know sound is important still because it's a battle royale game, but I don't know if it's as exact as PUBG gets. I just got a new headset. I've been using Samsung headphones usually when I play online with people, just the ones that come with like the Note 5 or whatever, the Galaxy line. And so it's a Hyperkin, I believe, and goes completely over the ear and has a microphone where it automatically mutes itself if you put it upwards, and it seems pretty good. I did a lot of research. I saw this $300 mic that was really tempting, but I'm only using it for the rare times I actually talk to people when I play games. So I just decided to go with the $50 one. That's really good. I have no complaints so far. I played a match of PUBG with it, and it seemed just really accurate as far as knowing where enemies and gunfire is coming from, so which is what matters. Alright, I'm at my destination, so I'll play a bunch of games. Probably some Game Beasts, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, maybe Move or Die. There's so much. Maybe Just Dance. That's real popular right now because there's a kid here. Yeah, it's good exercise. Should have brought and change your clothes though. You get real sweaty with the sweater. Alright, that's it. See you later. Yeah, night vision. Just got done my game night. Yeah, I got here at 4. It's now 1:15 a.m. So about a good 9 hours of video games. We played Road to Redemption a lot at the start because they were already playing that, and then we played I think Stickboard Steam version, even though I brought my Switch, and that's the only thing we played on the Switch. No Smash Brothers this time. We played Just Dance 2017. And then we played more Road to Redemption. We actually beat it. So the first time we played it, we got to the very end, and the final boss was one hit away. If we had more ammo on our guns, we would have done it. But we failed. And when you fail in that game, you gotta restart from the very beginning. You get some XP that you can use to get permanent upgrades. But besides that, you gotta restart the campaign. So, but a second time we did it, and then we did the 2 little races after that, like the Rainbow Road level thing that they do at the end. And so that was pretty cool. We unlocked Campaign Plus. And then we played Call of Duty World War II. I think that's what it's called, right? Just Call of Duty World War II. And we played a bunch of that multiplayer. It's my first time playing that. The PS4 has this really cool login to guest thing where you can basically put in a phone into the PlayStation, put in a code into your phone on the PlayStation app that lets you temporarily log into a PS4 using your own account. So I was able to unlock trophies and stuff for my actual PlayStation account here, even though my account's usually not on that PS4. And then I was able to upload my save file to the cloud before I left. Now I went ahead and gave them my Steam password for family sharing, so their library just jumped up like 500 plus games. Because I think they have like 140 something, and I have 611 total. So that's a lot of games I'm never gonna play. But you know, a good portion of those are $1 humble bundles and stuff like that. So it's not as much money as you would think. Good night.